One day, watery sunshine flooded into the wizard's home. Outside his door, he picked the first small bunch of snowdrops and put it in a little pot by the stranger's bed. For the first time, the man opened his eyes and seemed to understand but what he could see. As his gaze fell upon the delicate white flowers, his lips trembled into a tiny smile. But as the man stared around, his fierce manner returned. He scowled and struggled to sit up. "Where am I, and who are you?" he demanded, staring at the wizard again. "You came to me 2 months ago. You were cold and starving, and you had a dreadful wound in your shoulder. I have cared for you as well as I could, and I think what if you are careful, you will now recover." The stranger was silent for a moment. "Has anyone been here?" he asked. "Who knows I am here?" "No one," said the wizard. "The weather has been to bed for travelers, to venture through the deepest parts of the forest. Now that spring is on its way, we shall see more visitors along the path." At that, the stranger started up, wincing with pain as he staggered to his feet. He reached for his fur cloak, searching wildly for his sword and axe. "They are here," said the wizard, holding up the weapons, "but you should not rush off so quickly. You still need rest and time for your shoulder to heal properly. If you go now, I cannot guarantee that all will be well." With a great howl, the man leaped at the wizard, wrenching the sword and axe from his grasp and hurling him to the floor. Then he dropped to his knees and held the blade of the sword across the wizard's throat. "If you tell anyone I have been here," he said, "I will come back one dark night and kill you. Or shall I finish you now?" There was a long moment of silence as the sharp sword blade dug into Eyebright's throat. At first, the wizard could hardly breathe, he was so frightened. But he looked into the angry stranger's eyes and began, very softly, to speak. "You are a brave man," he said. "From your appearance and the few words I understood. You to say while you were ill, I take it that you are a soldier. That is something to be proud of. So, I must ask you, my friend, what are you afraid of?" For a split second, fury rose in the stranger's eye. Then he released the wizard and pulled himself slowly to his feet. He let his sword drop on the floor and moved painfully over to a chair. "Your words have pierced my heart," he said. "I am not soldier, friend, I am a brigand. I earn my living by stealing from travelers in Make the forest. I have killed man, and I have robbed those who could not afford to lose so much as a halfpenny. Oh, I was a soldier once. But I lost one battle after 10 years of fighting for my king, and I was punished. After then, my heart became bitter. No one showed kindness to me, and I showed mercy to no one. Until I met you. There is a price in my head. Sooner or later someone will kill me for my price, and that is all I deserve." The wizard smiled at the stranger. "And do you plan to continue in your old life when you leave here?" he asked, pouring a drink for the visitor. "No," said the man, "for my heart is no longer in it. You have reminded me of the way I used to live, trying to do what is right, helping people where I could. I cannot go back to stealing and killing now. But it is too late for me. The next traveler to pass will recognize me, and it will all be over. The king's men will cut me down. You are too weak to travel at the moment, said the wizard. But I feel sure that you could make a new life for yourself in another country. In the meantime, I think I know how we can make sure that no passer-by recognizes you. And that is why then travelers stopped for a drink and a crust of bread at the wizard's door that spring. They found the wizard seemed taller and stronger in his robes, though he was as kind and welcoming as ever. In midsummer, the wizard and the brigand parted company. No one would have recognized the clean man in forest green, who strode along the path towards a new life. The wizard watched him go with a smile. Then he went back to his quiet and sometime lonely ways. To this day, he is wise enough to see some goodness in everyone he meets, and somehow, that means that there is simply more goodness to go around.